Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I wish I was that fancy. A couple things. Um, Luke Towers and I, we went back and forth a little bit, and I saw that he was using smarter than my stupid little logo, the rocket ship emoji. So I went and converted over to that, um, and plugged that in. Um, the rest of the app, as you probably had seen it, is working the way that it was before. The UI. The biggest difference now is that the notifications are firing away. I have it set right now for every 30 seconds. Also, if I'm recording my screen, I don't think it just pops up. So I'm going to keep checking back here at my notifications and make sure that all that's working. And yeah, go from there. So I think my biggest thing, we get rid of all this stuff. The biggest thing for me that had clicked, and I should have cleaned this up before, was just in the scheduler and just operating a command and where things are getting logged out to. I ended up opening up that file from, I think it was episode 3 of the series that Marcel had pointed me to inside of PHP Storm, so I could really kind of get closer to debugging. What I did not do that Luke Towers had suggested was use Ray. He said it's been crucial and invaluable, I think it was the word he used, with debugging things in the app. So I should plug in Ray for doing these kinds of things because it is kind of hard to debug the native PHP application. So let's just dive right in. So the way that this is working is I've got this command, and this command, without going too much into like line by line into it, is getting the feed. It's getting the latest item of the feed. It's getting the date and the time stamp from that latest item. And then we're storing that just in a local storage file, and we check first to see if that file exists. If it doesn't exist, then we just write it and we don't do anything, because that's the first time someone just installed the application and there's no reason to give them a notification right then and there. The next time it runs, it's going to check, it's going to find that, and then it's going to get that feed, that latest item again. It's going to look at that date and compare it to the string that's in that file, and if they match, then cool, there's not an update. If they don't match, write to that file and send the notification. So notifications for me, the notification facade isn't working for me locally. So I saw from Christopher Hollis, which I had pointed to some of his code previously. He was using this whole native client and passing that into this notification class to get an instance, and from there was able to get things working, and that worked for me. So that's how I got the notifications to fire. I'm passing some of that data from the item into that notification, and then we're also calling this adding the event that when the user clicks on it, what event should we fire? So actually, I think that's not even necessary, to be honest, because of what I had discovered recently with Mr. Luke Towers. There is and I will take you to my event service provider. There is a native notification, native Laravel events notification clicked, that gets fired when a user clicks the notification. So in listening to that, we can add our own listener to the array of listeners, which is just open menu bar listener inside of app, and that's just doing menu bar show. That's all that it's doing. That was one of the biggest things for me. I was really frustrated, really struggling until he pointed that out. The docs for native PHP do point to, if we look at the notifications docs, it does say that we can pass in our own custom event into notification clicks, but that's just not working. And he being Luke Towers, did a deep dive into the native PHP code and found that that's actually not the case, or at least it's just not implemented yet. So that kind of threw me for a loop. Again, I'm not hating. This is an alpha release, and we're getting so much functionality out of this, and it's really exciting to see, obviously some native applications being written basically with web technologies, and Laravel of all of them. So I mean, that's my my lifeblood, right? Is Laravel. So it just adds so much more functionality and capabilities to our repertoire, right? As developers. I know Marcel had posted, Laravel developers overnight now can do native applications, but I made a comment on his tweet, on his Exeter, whatever they're called, Zeet, saying it wasn't overnight. It took him. I remember seeing tweets from Marcel, 2 years ago, or 4 years ago, 3 years ago, of working with some native technologies. He's been plugging away at this for quite a long time. It's not an overnight thing. We get the benefit, and pretty cheaply at that, of being able to do this. But let's give credit where credit is due. And I'm just super excited to have this working now. These have been firing as I've been chatting away. There's several of them here, and just click on it. It opens the menu bar. You can see the latest item in the feed, and you can click on that, and it takes you right to that job post. And I'm super excited. Again, the build not quite working. I hope to get that working here shortly, but the rest of the functionality of the application is working to what I was hoping to get accomplished. I still have to go back and write some tests and refactor and all that, but with a bounty on the line and only a couple days to get it together, I didn't really take my time in going the TDD route. I hope you all will forgive me, but I do plan to go back and do some of those things. That being said, I really look forward to the next thing that I put together, and we'll bring you all in with me on it, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much for your time, and have a great night.